There we are. I really want you here with me mentally. As much as you can manage the 60 minutes, your full focus with me. We're not on precisely what I'm saying in the moment. It's going to get more interesting than what I'm saying now. My point is we're not going to try and hold on to anything that we've seen today. We're not going to try and memorize anything. And we'll see that we're going to learn more Swahili in around 60 minutes than we would have ever thought possible. So we're going to break down Swahili and language generally to see how we use it to express our ideas. Our focus is on how we convert ideas into language rather than converting language into language. But that said, we can understand Swahili better by increasing our consciousness of English and how English works. So the first thing we can say about languages generally is that they have words, and different types of words. For example, we have verbs. Verbs are a type of word. Verbs in English tend to come with to, to, want, to, come, to be. In Swahili, verbs don't have to in front of them, but ku, which is ku, ku. So, for example, to sleep in Swahili is kulala. Does everybody want to say that? Give that a try. Kulala. So we have two words there in English, to sleep, but in Swahili that's one word, kulala. But it's the same idea. It has the idea of to sleep. Ku is to, and then lala means sleep, which is probably echoic, by the way. Lala probably just mimics the sound of putting somebody to sleep, like how we say lullaby in English, or to lull. So that's the same idea, kulala, to sleep. So what's to sleep in Swahili? Kulala, good. And if we get, and we have the accent on the penultimate syllable, the second last syllable, kulala. So I'm going to do a little experiment. If we remove one of those la, one of the las, how is that going to sound now? Kula, good, we shift the accent. And kula, by coincidence, means to eat. So we already know two verbs in Swahili, to sleep, kulala, and to eat, kula. Good, we have that change in stress there, very good. So these are verbs now, words we put to in front of in English. But of course, verbs aren't just the to forms, that we have of the verb. We don't just say to sleep, but I sleep, he sleeps, I slept, And all of this we get from to sleep. And in Swahili, to get these different meanings out of a to form, like kulala, the first thing we need to do is remove the bit that means to, which is cool. And what are we left with? Lala. Good. And lala all by itself, by the way, can be the imperative, the order. So if we tell somebody to sleep, lala. You might actually hear in Swahili lala salama, which means sleep well, literally something like sleep peacefully, like salam in Arabic. So you may hear that, lala salama, sleep peacefully, sleep well. Kucheka means to laugh. Kucheka. Good. Which bit means to? Cool. Good. And which bit means laugh? Cheka. Good. And that's probably also echoic and onomatopoeia. It means it's the sound of the word is coming from the action of laughing. You might think like laughing doesn't sound like cheka, but we have to chuckle in English. So those words are connected, not historically, but in the collective imagination of humans. Do we have any Spanish speakers in here, by any chance? Carcajadas in Spanish? Same kind of sound, when you laugh, carcajadas. There's that expression, just like chuckle, just like cheka, different manifestations of that same echoic idea. How would you tell someone to laugh, like if you need to tell someone to laugh at your jokes? Cheka, good. So, lala, cheka, without ku, which means to, is the base of our verb, By itself, it's the imperative, but we can also build from this base to find all of our different verb tenses. So to say something like I sleep, or I'm sleeping, I laugh, I'm laughing, we begin with our verb base. So what would that be for sleeping? Good. And the base, do we get rid of the to? Lala, good. So if we want to say I'm sleeping, we need to add information onto that. There's two different pieces of information, though, in I'm sleeping. There's I, and then there's the fact we're in the present tense. So for present tense in Swahili, we have na. So that will go on the beginning of lala, so how would it sound? Na lala, good. And with cheka, kucheka, how would it sound? Nacheka, good. And this all by itself actually can mean I sleep or I'm sleeping. I laugh, I'm laughing. In the present tense, if we don't say I, it can just be assumed. So nalala can be I sleep or I'm sleeping. Nacheka, I laugh, I'm laughing. So to want, which is a very useful verb, is kutaka, kutaka. How would we put that in the present tense? Kutaka. What's the first thing we do? Be confident. We remove the ku. That's good. That's the first thing you do. And then we have taka, and then what do we add for that to get it in the present tense? Na. So I want? Nataka, good. So we can use nataka like I want, even though we're not saying the I there. If you leave that out, it will be assumed. In the present tense at least. So we could say now I want to sleep. How would we say that in Swahili? I want to sleep. Good, so the important thing is to divide the thought up, right? If we look at the whole sentence, we're like, oh, I can't do that, right? But if we split the thought up, the first bit is I want, we have kutaka, nataka, and then to sleep, that's to sleep, so we don't really have to think about it, we just have to remember the word. And we know it comes from like lulling someone to sleep, like a lullaby. So to sleep is? Kulala, good. So nataka kulala, I want to sleep. How about I want to eat? We know how to say that too. First bit is I want. Nataka. And then just to eat was very similar to sleep, but kula. Nataka kula. No? So the important thing is to have one thought at a time rather than try to translate the whole sentence. The sound for I, we have a sound for I. We said if we leave it out in the present, we can assume we're talking about I, but that sound is ni. Ni. And that's going to come before na. So for example, I want ni nataka. Ni nataka. So let's go back to laugh. What was to laugh? Like chuckle? Kucheka. So if we want to build I'm laughing and include all the information, the sound for I is ni, and then the sound for present? Na, and then? Good. Ni na cheka. Well done. The word for now in Swahili is sasa, sasa. S-A, which is a repeated syllable. I'm mentioning that because it's very common in Swahili. We've already seen a repeated syllable, haven't we? To sleep, which is? Kulala. Good. So you could say, I want to sleep now. We're not translating the whole thing at once. We're breaking up the idea first. So the first idea is I want. And then that idea also has its elements, right? We need to think of to want, which is? Kutaka. Then we need to remove the bit that means to, which is? Cool. Then we need to put the bit that means I present, which is? Good. So I want? Ninataka. Good. So if we allow ourselves that time to think it through slowly, I always say, think slowly to learn quickly. The slower we allow ourselves to do that, to place each piece of information, we create clarity in our minds. And each time we come back to do that, it gets faster. Ninataka. To sleep. Kulala. Good. To sleep, we want cool. Kulala. Now, I want to sleep now. Say it all together. Very good. Ninataka kulala sasa. I want to sleep now. And I want to eat now. With a tiny little change, we get I want to eat now. Ninataka kula sasa. Very good. You might hear in some dialects of Swahili, by the way, sasa like a greeting, which I love because I'm always saying like good, and then I'm in this panic of like, is it afternoon? You know? And I say morning at 1 o'clock. You don't have that problem in Swahili because you can just use now, like a greeting. Whatever time of day it is, sasa. So we know already 4 verbs in Swahili. We have to sleep. What's to sleep? Kulala. We have to eat. Kula. We have to laugh. Kucheka. And we have to want. Kutaka. Very useful verb. We're always talking about what we want in all languages. Kutaka, to want. So, apart from all beginning ku, we can notice that they all end a also. Kulala, kula, kucheka, kutaka, they end a as well. Can you remind me of the sound we add when it's I doing the verb? What is the sound for I? Ni. Very good. And the sound for the present tense was? Na. Good. So, I want? Want, taka. Good. Nina taka. Let's apply this all to a new verb. So, a new verb, to see. Useful verb as well. Kuona. Kuona. So what's the bit that means to? Cool. And the bit that means see? Ona. So that's the base we work with when we want to build something like I see. How would we do that? Ninaona, good. Or we have this peculiarity in the present tense that you could just say naona and it would be understood that it's ninaona. You can do either there. So, I want to see. Ninataka kuona. Very good. The sound for you, so the sound for I was? Ni. Very good. The sound for you is just a U. 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 So, you could say you want. We're going to say you, present, want. And it's all one word in Swahili. You want. Unataka. You want to sleep. Unataka kulala. And you can make that a question just with your intonation in Swahili. You don't need to make any other changes. You can just make it sound like a question. Do you want to sleep? Unataka kulala. Good. I love hearing so many responses and seeing so many of you thinking it out. Brilliant. Unataka kulala. Do you want to sleep? Do you want to eat? Unataka kula. Good. And the word for now it was also a double syllable. Sasa. Do you want to eat now? Unataka kulala sasa? Very good. Sorry. Unataka kula sasa. For eat. Now. How would you say, are you sleeping? 3 words in English. They're going to become 1 word in Swahili. Are you sleeping? Una lala. We have u for you, na for present, lala for sleep. Una lala. Good. What was to laugh or to laugh at? It can mean both. Good. I wanted to be sure I'm hearing the ku. Kucheka. Good. When we think of a verb, we think of it as to. No? To laugh. Kucheka. When we start playing with it, we remove the to. No? So you're laughing. Unacheka. You're laughing now. Now you're laughing. Now is flexible like it is in English. That sounded very funny because some of you said sasa at the beginning and others at the end, but it was all correct. Sasa. Unacheka, sasa. Good. So what was to see again? Kuona. Good. And you see? Do you see? Unaona. So what's the sound for I again? Ni. And the sound for the present? No. Good. Ni, other than the sound for I, can also be the sound for me. But when it's me, it goes after the time sound. Right? So let's practice that. You can say something like, you're laughing at me. You are laughing at me. Loads of words in English, 1 word in Swahili. You just have... So the key thing to speaking any language well, quickly, learning any language quickly, is just identifying what are the bits of information and how do I represent them, rather than getting too focused on the actual words. The words in English help us identify which are the pieces of the information. So in a sentence like, you're laughing at me, what are the bits of information? You laugh at me, present. No? And then we just have to think which one comes first and what comes next. So let's give that a try. You're laughing at me. Bravo. I heard a lot of people first say unacheka, then remember the ni and go back and put it in. Brilliant. That's good thinking. Unanicheka. You're laughing at me, right? You, na, present. Ni, that means I, can mean me when it comes after the time sound. So unani cheka. You're laughing at me. Very good. You're laughing at me now. Very good. Unani cheka sasa. Good. So to see again, what was it? Kuona. Good. You see? Bravo. Unaona. Do you see me? We don't have to worry about the do. The question is just the tone of voice. So it's, you see me. How do we do that? Good. Unaniona. All one word. Unaniona. Do you see me? Unaniona. Do you see me now? So maybe you say that on the phone, right? Do you see me now? Unaniona sasa? Good. So we've seen how if we want to make a question in Swahili, we can just use our intonation. We can just use our tone of voice. No. But also, we have a question marker in Swahili, a sound that shows or highlights that we're going to make a question, which we can use if we want to. So this sound is je. This is a good moment for me to say, do not base your Swahili pronunciation on mine, but on native Swahili speakers. So this is kind of like a J, but a bit more smiley. J. It's the kind of sound that will really depend on dialect, right? Because like...
But that sounded good, that sounded good.
In Spanish, again, it's the same. Like you have Colombia, there'd be like J, and in Spain it's Y, and then in Argentina it's J. But it's all the same double L or the Y. So it's a kind of sound that generally can shift dialectally. Anyway, so you have J for this question marker. It's kind of saying like, hey, I'm going to make a question. So using that, how would you say, can you see me? Very good. So J here is like a separate word. J, unaniona. Hey, do you see me? No? Hey, are you laughing at me? J, unanicheka. Good. So J is a sound that lets us know a question is coming. A bit like do. You know, when you say, do you see me? Do there doesn't really mean anything, does it? It's just letting us know that a question is forming. So we can use this J to show we're introducing the question, and then the intonation is not so important on the question, but you can still make intonation if you want to. No? If you use J, you can J unaniona. You don't have to make intonation. What was to sleep? Kulala. Are you sleeping with J? J unalala. J unalala. Do you want to eat now? Using J. So first bit is the J, of course. J. Do you want? That's a big thought. I've got a few thoughts to have there. What's the first thought? Do you? Una taka. And then we just need to remember, I can't remember if I said sleep or eat. What did I say? Kula. Eat, I guess. Kula. Good. Now, sasa. So when you're producing in a new language, don't be scared to really like slow down and think about stuff, because usually it's just one bit that you have to think about. Like here, it's the una taka bit that requires your thought, and then the rest is actually just remembering the words. Kula, sasa. Like you don't have to change them. Again, what was to see? Kuona. Do you see? If you say unaona, we need intonation. Unaona? Otherwise? Je unaona, good. Do you see me? Je unaniona, good. So this je is a marker. No, it doesn't mean anything. It just shows us that we have a question coming. And languages use markers for all kinds of things. For questions, for getting attention, for calling people's names or addressing people. Any Arabic speakers? Like ya, you know, when you say ya before someone's name, or ya habibi. No, that has a function rather than being a word, right, so to speak. Or in English we say, for example, I say. I say can mean I say something, or it can be a marker. You can say, I say, it's a good day today. I say, what a lovely day. No, which, funnily enough, entered its way into Swahili. Don't ask me how, but Swahili adopted that marker. I say. People in Swahili say I say, and it's actually just coming from the English I say. So you could say something. Huh?
Yeah, it's true. A-I-S-E, I say.
A-I-S-E-E, I think, no? I guess. Mimicking the long vowel of say, right? So you could say, I say you're laughing at me. How would that be? Very good. I say. Unanicheka. Good. What was to want again? Kutaka. Kutaka. Good. Kutoka, very similar. Kutoka means to get or go out, to exit. Kutoka. Kutoka. Say it. Kutoka. It will help us differentiate from kutaka if we say it. Kutoka, to go out, to exit. So how would you tell someone to get out? Toka. Good. We know we can use just the base as our order. Toka. How would you say I'm going out now? Very good. Ni natoka sasa. Good. Or just natoka sasa. In the present we can leave out ni colloquially. How would you say I want to go out? I want to get out. Ninataka kutoka. Very good. Kutoka to get out of, to be out of, you can also use like I'm from. Like literally what you're saying is I'm out of. So if you want to say like I'm from America, you're going to say I'm out of America. Sounds a bit like a product, doesn't it? America is Marekani. So Swahili loves consonant vowel, consonant vowel, consonant vowel. So it's just switched the A and the M to make it like sound more Swahili. America, Marekani. So you could say, I'm from America. How would you say that? Ninatoka Marekani. Very good. You could ask someone, are you from Kenya? Kenya is the same word in Swahili. So, are you from Kenya? Unatoka Kenya. Very good. Unatoka Kenya. Or you could use your question mark if you wanted to do that as well, if you felt like it. How would that be? Je unatoka Kenya. Good. If, the word for where in Swahili, the word for where is wapi. 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 Now, if you want to say where are you from, the most common position for wapi is after the verb. So you're going to say, you are from where? Or more literally, you are out of where? No? If you want to say where are you from in Swahili, you are out of where? Unatoka wapi. Very good. Unatoka wapi. Good. And when we have a question word like wapi, by the way, we're less likely to use je because it's a question word. So the question word already helps us ease up on intonation. So we're not likely to have both. Unatoka wapi. Where do you sleep? Unalala wapi. Good. What was to want? Kutaka. Good. Where do you want to sleep? We're going to say, you want to sleep? Where? Where do you want to sleep? Unataka kulala wapi. And where do you want to eat? Small change. Unataka kula wapi. Good. To travel in Swahili is kusafiri. Kusafiri. Now, most verbs in Swahili I mentioned end in an A. No. Kutaka, kutoka, kulala, kula, kucheka, kuona. Kusafiri doesn't end in an A though, which is rare for Swahili verbs, but it often happens when the verbs are borrowed from other languages. So kusafiri comes from, any Arabic speakers in here? Safir, obviously, from the Arabic to travel. No. And kusafiri was then actually adopted into English to refer to a very specific type of trip. Safari, of course, no, because people were going for safaris, places like Kenya and Tanzania, not to like Lebanon or Egypt for a safari, no. So this word, although from Arabic, came through Swahili into English. What are the vowels in Safiri? You don't even have to name the vowels, you can just make the sounds. A, I, I, Safiri, A, I, A, I, I. And the reason I said that is because sometimes when you have a word with a lot of vowels, it becomes harder to remember and you might just mix the vowels up when you try to produce it. So when you notice that, you can just make a mental note, not trying to remember, just process it. Go, oh, what are the vowels there? A, I, I. Okay. And it will just make it easier next time when you want to say it, that kusafiri comes out and not kusafari or whatever. Okay, so how would you say, do you want to travel? Unataka kusafiri. Very good. And how would you say, where do you want to travel? Good. Unataka kusafiri wapi. Good. How would you say, I'm traveling or I travel? Very good. Removing the ku. Nina safiri. Very good. I'm traveling now. Nina safiri sasa. Are you traveling? Very good. Je una safiri or una safiri? Good. Where are you traveling? Very good for wapi at the end. You are traveling where? Una safiri wapi. Very good. Although it's not quite at the end where we put wapi. It's after the verb rather than at the end. So if we say, for example, where are you traveling now? Una safiri wapi sasa. No? So It's not at the end, but rather after the verb, the question word. Unasafiri wapi, you're traveling where? Now. Sasa. The verb to... this is a good time to mention, speaking of safiri coming from Arabic, the word Swahili actually also comes from Arabic. Sahil, which means coast. So that's interesting. It's like the coastal language, Swahili. To do or to make in Swahili is kufanya, kufanya. That's F-A-N-Y-A. Swahili was also written in Arabic historically, but is now written in the Latin scripts. So that's K-U-F-A-N-Y-A. Kufanya, to do or to make. Which bit there means doing or making? Fanya, good. You could use that to say do it. Fanya, good. If it is like an action, no, the it, you don't actually need the word for it. Fanya. How would you say you are doing it? Una fanya, good. Are you doing it? Je una fanya, una fanya. So this je, this marker je that we use to introduce a question can also be used like how, like the word how. And we know that question words come after the verb in Swahili. So when je means how, it's going to come after the verb. But in this case, we actually hook it onto the verb. So it's not like its own word. It's something that hooks onto the verb, right? Which might affect what? Hooking it onto the verb. The accent, the stress of the verb. So how do you do it is you do it how. So we're going to say you, present, do, how, but it's all going to be one word. So try it and try to find where you feel like the accent should be. You want to think it through as well? Una fagnadie. No, because when we add je onto the word, we know we like the accent on the penultimate syllable, on the second last syllable, which is why it changes between kulala, to sleep, and kula, to eat. So when we add je onto the end of the word, we've got to bear that in mind for the accent. So look at that. All of those words in English, how do you do it? One word in Swahili. Una fagnadie. All one word. I'm very impressed by that, as you can tell. To say, or even to speak, in some dialects this is used like to speak, is kusema, kusema. Kusema. So you speak, or you say. Unasema, good. Unasema. How do you say? How do you say, how do you say? How would you say, how do you say? Unasemaje, good. And this is used actually like what? Come again? Like when you don't understand somebody? So when you don't understand somebody, unasemaje, again the Spanish speakers like when you say como, a bit like when you say como in Spanish. No, you don't understand something. Como. Unasemaje, you say how? How do you say? And you could also use this to ask how to say things in Swahili. You could say, unasemaje bed, or whatever word you're wanting to translate, kwa Kiswahili, in Kiswahili. So Kiswahili is Swahili, I guess you all know that already. And ki means something like language of, no? So that's actually language of the coast, no? In a mixture of Bantu, which is the ki bit, and the Sahil, Arabic bit, Kiswahili. Do you speak Swahili? Unasema Kiswahili? Good. So like I mentioned, kusema in all dialects means to say, but only in some dialects is used like to speak. You might also hear kuongea then for to speak, kuongea. So using kuongea, how would you say, do you speak Swahili? Unaongea Kiswahili. Good. English is Kiingereza, Kiingereza. Again, we have the ki for languages, and then Ingereza for England, or probably English. The eza looks like it's trying to do the ish on English. So, language of the English, Kiingereza. Do you speak English? Unasema Kiingereza in some places or anywhere. Unaongea Kiingereza. How might you say Chinese if you had to guess? How might you say Chinese if you had to guess? Ki, I heard ku somewhere, but ki, the logic was good. Ki gives us the language. Now ku would be tu for verb. So Kichina, language of China. kichina. Do you speak Chinese? Unasema kichina? Je, unasema kichina? Unaongea kichina? To do or to make, what was that? Kufanya, very good. Do it now. Fanya sasa. Good. I'm doing it now. Good. What was the word for where? Do we remember the word for where? Wapi, good. The word for here is hapa, hapa. So you could say, do it here. Fanya hapa. Do you sleep here? Unalala hapa? Good. How do you sleep here? Like, it's so noisy. How do you sleep here? Good. But now with more confidence. How do you sleep here? And with this tone of voice as well. Like, it's so noisy. How do you sleep here? Good. Unalalaje hapa. Very good. How do you sleep here? Unalalaje hapa. Right. To know is kujua, kujua. So again we have a J which is going to change in dialects. Could be more like a y, like a j, like a j. Kujua, to know. How would you say I know? Ni najua. Or just najua very casually. I know, najua. Like we said in the present, you could leave out that ni. Don't let that confuse you. Najua. I want to know. Ni nataka kujua. Do you know? Unajua. And I think some people said, how do you know? So give me that. Unajuaje would be how. Do you know? No, putting j on the end gives us how. But just, do you know? Unajua. Good. Very good. Okay, so if any of you are trying to like hold on to stuff that we've learned, let it go. Let it go. I think you can see that all that responsibility is on me to make sure you remember it. And I'm, moving back and forward between things. So your memory, we've done quite a workout for half an hour. That's a lot of mental energy that we've done. And we can go for much more if we let everything go. We don't try to remember anything. So as if we just started. So if you want to say something like, I will sleep, I'm going to sleep, we can use na for that if it's obvious in the context. No, just like in English, you can say, I'm seeing her tomorrow. Tomorrow makes it obvious. So you can use the na for the future, but otherwise we have a different time sound for the future, which is ta, T-A, ta. So if we want to say, I will see, the bit for I is still the bit for I. Ni. And then for future? Ta. And then see? What was to see? Kuona. You see, going back to see makes it easier to remember if we ask ourselves what's to see. Kuona. So, I will see. Nita. Nitaona. You will see. Utaona. Will you sleep here? Will you sleep here? Utalala hapa. Where will you sleep? Utalala wapi. Very good. So here and where actually comes in the same position, no? You sleep here, you sleep where, which is kind of sensible if you think about it. It's English that changes it when we say you sleep here, where do you sleep? The word for later in Swahili, it's also Arabic, baadaye. Baadaye. So that's B-A-A, we have a long vowel there, ba, and then D-A-E, baadaye. I will sleep later. Well, nilala could work as well because you have baadaye, which is the context that it's the future, no? So it could be either. But probably like in English, if you use ta, you're showing more like you're deciding, I will sleep later. Nitalala baadaye. Where will you sleep later? Bravo, good. So I heard some of you put baadaye first and then wapi at the end. That's our mind trying to simplify it, to put wapi on the end. Wapi goes, the question word goes after the verb rather than at the end. So, utalala wapi baadaye. You sleep where later? What was to know again? We have the same kind of sound as in ye, in to know. Kujua. Good. Do you know where we will eat? Things are getting complicated. Do you know where we will eat? So first, let's break up the idea how we're going to say it in Swahili. We don't even have to think of Swahili words yet, and we shouldn't think of Swahili words yet. First, we need to think about how is this idea expressed in Swahili, right? So, do you know where you will eat? What do you think we might say in Swahili? But in English still. You know? You know we eat where? So do you know where you will eat? The first thing you want to do is reorder the idea, and you don't have to think about Swahili yet. Once you're clear on the way you reorder the idea, then your brain is beautifully free to think about Swahili. So, do you know? Do you know where you will sleep? Let's do that. Do you know where you will sleep? Good. Unajua utalala wapi? Very good. Do you know... Sorry, what was to want? Kutaka. And this ta, by the way, for the future, actually comes from kutaka. Or rather taka. No, just like will in English has the meaning of my will. No, your will to live, for example. That's wanting. No? So many languages do that, interestingly. They find a way to express the future connected to the word for want. Greek does that, English does that. And then also Swahili does that. The ta for future is from kutaka. What was again to do or to make? Good, kufanya. And I will do it later? Very good. Ni ta fanya baadaye. We have ni for I, ta for future, fanya baadaye for later. Good. Will you do it later? So we throw away the last sentence. Will you do it later? Yeah. Loudly? Very good. Yeah, utafanya baadaye. Very good. How will you do it? One word in Swahili. How will you do it? Yeah. Utafanyaje. Utafanyaje. The word for what in Swahili is nini. Another repeated syllable, no? Nini. And this is a question word. So where does it go? At the end or? After the verb, more precisely, right? So if we want to say, what are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? Unacheka nini? Good. To know? Kujua. If you want to say in Swahili, what do I know? You know, like, what do I know about that? I don't have a clue. You can actually say, how do I know? No? So colloquial things like this, we shouldn't always expect them to translate directly, no, from one language to another. So what do I know? How do I know? How is that then? Nina juaji. So we don't translate this directly with nani. No, we say how in that case. What was to see? Kuona. What do you see? What do you see? So now this is literally what? Una niona nini. What do you want to see? So don't try to modify the last sentence, let it go and start with what do you want? What is the first idea we need to deal with in what do you want to see? So the first idea would be you want, right? And then, so that is? Unataka to see? Nini. Unataka kuona nini. What do you want to see? Good. What was the word for here again? Hapa. What do you want to see here? Be honest, how many people said hapa nini? What should it be? Nini hapa. No, we have the question word after the verb. So, unataka kuona nini? What do you want to see? Here, hapa. Very good. The word for today is leo. L-E-O. Leo. What do you want to see today? How do you do that? What do you want to see today? Very good. Unataka kuona nini leo? Very good. What are you doing today? What are you doing today? This is a good sentence to demonstrate the flexibility we have between na and ta, no? Because when we say, like, what are you doing today? They're in English also, we're using the present, but it actually means the future. We don't mean like right now what you're doing when we say what are you doing today. So with either, no? Una fanya, uta fanya, depending on where you want to put your emphasis. Una fanya nini leo? Uta fanya nini leo? So we have nini for what, and then when is lini. L-I-N-I. So what is nini and when is lini. Very similar to what? So when will you do it? When will you do it? It could be either, right? No. So we could say una fanya lini, uta fanya lini. Good. So, but of course, if we wanted to be clear, when will, we can opt for ta. No. Where will you sleep? Utalala. Good question. Where? What was it? Yeah, utalala wapi. Where will you sleep? Utalala wapi. Good. And what was to travel? When will you travel? Yeah, utasafiri lini. Good. The sound for he or she, so we've met two sounds for person, right? We have ni for I and we have u for you. The sound for he or she, which is the same sound in Swahili, is a. So you could say something like, he is doing it. How is that? Anafanya. Good. What is he doing? Anafanya nini? Good. What will he do? Atafanya nini? Good. What will he do later? Good. Atafanya nini baadaye? When will he do it? I like that a couple of you laughed because it's like, oh, you're realizing, I hope that's why, that you're realizing how much you can say. No, already. There's loads of stuff you can say. How might we... What was to know? To know. Kujua. Do you know when she will do it? Right. So forget Swahili. Tell me how that idea is going to come together, but in English. Do you know when she will do it? Brilliant. Do you know she will do it when? And now we can focus on one bit at a time. So, do you know? Unajua? She will do? When? Good. Unajua atafanya lini. Very good. Do you know when she will do it? Very good. What was the word again for where? Wapi. Where does she want to do it? Or where does he want to do it? Anataka kufanya wapi. Where does he or she want to do it? And the word for he was? Here. Hapa. You were very right to say that a was the sound for he. But the word for here, hapa, good. What does he want to do here? So forget Swahili. What does he want to do here? How are we saying that in English? He wants to do? What here? Good. The question word is after the verb rather than at the end, right? So, what does he want to do here? Anataka kufanya nini hapa? I guess I should wrap up now because it's 5:02. People have classes to go to and stuff. All right, thank you so much. I had lots of fun. Before you run off, let me tell you a little bit about what I do and what how you can do this course. So basically, you have complete Swahili online 100% for free, which is what we've done now, but like 16 hours of it. So this will cover the whole structure in this way that you can see is very digestible and works very quickly, meaning that you can take maximum benefit from your class time and your contact time, because this will really like set you ahead on the grammar. So you can search for that language transfer. You've got your gifts. You can grab some gifts from here. I'm also going to leave some like more postcards and cards and crap for you guys to take. And please feel free to take as much as you want if you want to share the project. There's also many other languages available, by the way, if there's other languages you're interested in. So I'll just leave this stuff here for you guys to grab.
Thank you.
Thank you.